Alright, hi guys, it's Alicia. Alright, I'm here to tell you about my first date fiasco. Yes. Well, it really wasn't that bad. Meaning, it could have been a whole lot worse. Yeah. And I know what many of you guys are thinking. A 17-year-old's first date. Yes. All I have to say is, I'm a picky girl. Waited 17 years for this. Alright, finally go out. Nice guy. Get there, and his truck is jacked. And I am a 5'1" girl. I walk over to it. I have a little bit of trouble getting in. Okay, a lot of trouble. After that, guess where our date is? Walmart. Yay! Kudos for Walmart. We go in. We buy a game for his brother. Lovely, right? After I slide out of his jacked up truck, we go into Walmart. That was lots of fun. Then we go over to a shoe store, which is right next to Walmart. Walk there, and he has he goes, "Do you want to help me put on my sock?" Yes, I would love to help you put on your sock. That was just so disturbing, really disturbing. I just shook my head, and I walked away. Just walked away. I was like, I'm not even gonna comment on that one. Yes. So after that, he decides, let's walk back to Walmart and hang out. So I accompanied him to Walmart, and we went to the kids section. You know, little kids section with all like the baby toys and the little baby pianos, and you press it and you just play around with the keys. Yeah, that's what we did. So I picked up I guess it was like an Elmo thing. I don't know, and it's like you press his foot or something and it starts singing Elmo's World and junk, and I put it up to his ear and I'm like, listen to this, you know, just trying to embarrass the crap out of him because I was so sick of it. I was like, you know what, fine, I'm here, so I'm just going to make the best of it. And I dedicated my time to embarrassing him, and it worked very splendidly, chasing him around with little toys, making them go off in his ear. I felt very accomplished after that. I'm maybe immature, but accomplished nonetheless. Okay. The whole way around there, I keep on stepping on the back of his shoes, and I mean, it was really embarrassing. I wasn't really meaning to. It was by accident completely, and I just kind of kept stepping on his shoes. And then he was just like, stop stepping down. I was like, I'm sorry, and yeah, it was just horrible. Finally, he mentioned that we go sit out in his car. Yep, the car. He's like, yay, I'm gonna go do this. Go to his truck, which took me forever to get back inside. That was lovely. And then he offered to help, which made it even more embarrassing. I was like, no, I can do this. I can get it myself. And he was like, well, I can help you. And I was just go. Go to your side. I can get up. We get in his truck, and everybody's staring at us. I don't know what it is, but I guess people that go to Walmart have nothing better to do than to stare at a couple inside of a truck. Really. It was awkward. And I was like, this is nice. He gets an app on his phone of Angry Birds, right? Yeah. He goes, hello, have you ever played this? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, here, go ahead, try it. And I was like, thank you, because I still wanted to do that. In his truck, I'm playing the game on his phone, and he scoots right next to me. Mind you, this is like 105 degree weather, right? He has no air on. The windows aren't even cracked, and I'm sweating. I took the time to straighten my hair. I took the time to put on makeup, everything, and I was dreading it so much. The heat was unbearable, and his body was pressed right against mine. That was a lot of fun. I was like, please, move away. I wouldn't care so much if it wasn't so hot that it was like burning up in here, and you don't have the air on. So he goes, oh, and he cracks the window, like, not even an inch. That made me feel a whole lot better. And then he still right up against me. And I was like, please, just move away just a little bit. Give me a little bit of space. No. Instead, he wants to pout. Because I asked him to move just a little bit out of my way. And he can't even do that. Whatever. Okay. I can understand. Whatever. Okay. Then, he's hovering while I'm trying to play this Angry Bird game, which I had never even heard of. Stupid me. I'm like ignorant of all games. And so I was trying and I like failed epically. Yeah. Maybe I should have mentioned that. Okay. I'm like, you know what? Here, I don't want to play this anymore. And I finally told him to move to the other side of the car. So I pushed him, and his back was on his side of the door. And so I turned around in the seat and I was like, alright. Now, let's just talk. Let's just face each other and talk. This is our first date. We're keeping it G-rated completely, you know. I'm one of those girls. I'm not easy. Anyway, yes. So, I'm talking to him. We're having fun. Then he's like, hold my hand. And I was like, it's too hot to hold hands. It gets all sweaty and nasty and uncomfortable. And, you know, I'm embarrassed and stuff. And it was just weird. And he's like, please hold my hand. And I was like, you're so unattractive when you pout. But I eventually gave in. And I held his hand. Right? So we're holding hands as we're talking. And when I talk, I like to move my hands a little bit. A lot. And I accidentally took his hand and hit it with my boob. It was awful. I felt so horrible. I was like, oh my gosh, you want to talk about embarrassing? And he just kind of stared at me like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, oh god, I really didn't mean to do that. I really didn't. He's like, sure. No, look, I'm serious. And after that was the awkward moment was over and stuff. He lifted my hand. Alright, we're holding hands, and he lifted it up to his face. And I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, nothing. And he put down my hand. I was like, were you just sniffing my hand? Really? Were you just sniffing it? And he's like, no, I wasn't sniffing your hand. And I was like, you lifted my hand to your face. Didn't do anything else. And you pressed like right up against his nose. I was like, what are you doing? And then he's like, I was going to kiss your hand. I was like, you're going to kiss my hand? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, you couldn't just tell me that? No. He had to be all secretive and like, no, I don't know what I was doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never had someone sniff my hand before, thank you. And he's like, oh my gosh, really? And so I was like, you think that's more embarrassing and awkward than, you know, hit my boob? And he's like, well, now that you brought it back up, it's even more awkward. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And then his dad calls, right? And I hear him on the other side, and you can hear his dad go, get your ass home. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he hangs up, and he's like, okay, I guess I'm taking you home. And I'm like, alright, cool. His dad calls back and goes, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were with a friend. And then hangs back up. Come to find out that his dad is the reason I thought I was dating a guy that I liked, who was the guy I went out with. It was his cousin. And it was like, oh my gosh. And he's like, yeah, I thought you would like my dad. He's the one who actually, you know, kind of, you thought you were dating my cousin. I was like, really? That's the reason. Oh, well, I kind of hate your dad right now. Yeah, anyway, that was a totally different story. And, okay, so he goes back, he parks in Walmart again, and then a white truck parks beside of us. He gets out, and it's an old guy, and he's staring at us. I was like, really? Yeah. Awesome. There's an old guy staring at us, and I'm like, hey, do you know that guy? And he's like, no. And I was like, why are you staring at us? You know, were you on a fix that or something? And so the guy finally comes over, and he's like, yo, dude, I was looking at your truck, and like, it was like amazing, and I was wondering if I could like look under your hood, because, you know, I used to have a truck like this, and, you know, it didn't really look like this, but it looks like this. So can I look under the hood? My reaction? I just smiled. What else could I do? I was like, hey, I'm Alicia. I don't know who you are, old dude. And my boyfriend's just like, yeah, sure, dude, you can look underneath the hood. And I was like, does this happen to you often? And he's like, Yeah, pretty much. I was like, awesome. I keep saying like a lot. But that's how it went, really. And then his mom called, and he had to go pick up pizza. And so that's when he took me home. And all the while, I kept on asking what he could do to make up for everything and stuff. And I was like, I don't know, I don't want anything. And he's like, well, there has to be something. And I was like, well, I don't know. And he finally was like, you have to think of something. And so I looked at him, and I was thinking really hard, and I finally go, you know what? You can kiss my hand when you drop me off. How about that? Because you know that awkward feeling that you get at the end of a date when you have no clue what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to lean in for a kiss or lean in for an awkward, hug. I had no clue what I was doing. I'm innocent in that area. And so when we got there, he gets out of his truck. I slide off his seat onto the ground. It was horrible. I skipped my bat. But anyway, yeah, got down and I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, bye. And I gave him my hand and he kissed it and it was awkward. And I was like, any other time this would be so romantic, but right now it's just weird because it's me. Usually I'm used to reading about this kind of stuff in my books, which you can see behind me, and there's more, but I'm used to reading about this stuff. So it never happens to me. And so when it did, I was freaking out. I was horrible. Yeah. Anyway. He goes around to his side of the door again, and I'm like, okay, bye, and he's like, well, I was going to come in. I was like, no. Leave. My parents they're mean. They don't like anybody. They won't like you. Go away. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, no, seriously, my mom's mean. And he goes, I know where you get it. And I was like, that's not mean. That was really nice, right? He gets in, and he drives away with my dog chasing after his tire. That is how my date went. My very first date. It was extremely awkward. I don't know if it was as awkward as right now when I'm telling it to you, but it was really awkward for a first date. I don't know. Okay, yeah, anyway. You can comment your dates. Tell me how your first dates went below, and I will read them all, because, yeah, I'm excited, to share and receive and read and everything else that comes with that kind of thing. So, yeah, just comment, like, rate, whatever you want to do. Okay, thank you for listening to my rambling. Bye, guys.